I said before in our meeting with the new and very talented Prime Minister of Canada that we have some very big announcement to make. It's not about trade, it's about something else, but it's going to be a truly earth-shattering and positive development for this country and for the people of this country. And that'll take place sometime within the next few days.
Is anyone else sick of this guy's voice, or is it just me? Welcome back to the channel. Today we've got a few clips that I think our community will really appreciate. We're not even 4 months into the Orange guy's presidency, and the boycotts, tariffs, and 51st state talk are still going strong on both sides. It's chaos down there. And these videos really showed just how unstable things have become with our neighbors to the south. If you're new here and find this content helpful, a like and subscribe goes a long way in supporting the channel. Let's get into it.
Vegas just took the biggest hit in the country from the Canadian travel slowdown, with nearly 49,000 airline seats cut between Canada and Reed Airport this spring. A new survey shows other cities like New York and Los Angeles were affected too, but not nearly as hard as Las Vegas. Another rough blow as we head into the busy summer season.
If I have one message to our president, it's lay off the ridiculous rhetoric about Canada being the 51st state. As an American, I'm ashamed, right, of the arrogance and disregard that we've shown one of our historically oldest, strongest, and most loyal allies. These international tournaments for Canada mean something different now. As an American, I'd like to address the 51st state discourse, which I find unsettling and frankly insulting. Canada is a strong, independent nation that's deep-rooted in decency, really. And it's a place that values high ethics and respect, unlike the polarized, disrespectful, and often now hate-fueled climate that's in the U.S.
President Trump. So you want to make Canada the 51st state. That's adorable. It's not the wildest thing you've ever come up with. Remember Bleach? It's definitely top 10. Let's just walk through this, shall we? So you want Canada to become a state. That way, we'd lose our healthcare system where you can break a leg and not your bank account in exchange for a GoFundMe surgery plan. Tempting. You want us to switch to your system. We have Putin, politeness, and potholes we apologize for. You have bald eagles, billionaires in bunkers, and people fighting over who invented ranch dressing. And you think we need a merger? Look, we love our American cousins. You're that loud neighbor that throws an epic barbecue and burns down the fence every other year. We're good up here. We have moose, maple syrup, legal weed, and nobody yelling on cable news 24/7. It's paradise with mittens. Also, just logistically, who do you intend to make the capital of this new great North America? Toronto? Seattle? Waffle House headquarters? Honestly, we're flattered you'd want us, but no thanks. We'd rather stay the polite apartment above the raucous party downstairs. But hey, if you're serious, start small. Try fixing Michigan first, then we'll talk. Cheers, eh?
It's an additional checkpoint not often seen at the Peace Arch and Pacific Highway border crossings. U.S. Customs officers stopping and searching northbound cars before Canadian Customs.
I had a party, and so I'm taking people back and forth to the airport.
This driver was stopped there 4 times over 3 days.
2 days there was dogs, 1 day no dog. You just get used to it. You open your windows, glasses off. It's a bit scary. It's a little intimidating.
Both Canadian and American drivers say they've been questioned.
Well, they stopped and they asked us to open everything up. They asked us if we were carrying anything, picking any people up back and forth. The impression we got is they're looking for smuggling something, coming to Canada to smuggle back in.
U.S. Customs and Border Patrol hasn't said why the additional checkpoint is in place, instead calling it a routine inspection in the name of national security.
People were telling me it was taking up to 2 hours to go through.
This immigration lawyer says checkpoints are typically put in place during crises like an Amber Alert or a criminal on the run.
But what's new is they're doing them every single day, which I've never seen in 25 years of practicing immigration law.
Saunders says the extra screening could deter even more Canadians from traveling to U.S. border towns. April already saw a 51% drop in vehicle traffic heading south compared to 2024.
This is the nail in the coffin. right? When Canadians hear that they're doing these outbound checks and they're taking, not minutes, but hours, nobody's going to come down here.
I don't have 6 hours to go, just a half an hour.
I mean, we'll see when we come back. I don't know exactly what they're going to entail, but
Donald Trump didn't just wake up one day and decide to be divisive. That man was born in it, wrapped in it, and raised to weaponize it. You ever notice how some people act like Trump's racism is some sort of 2016 surprise? Nah, that man's been on brand since birth. So let's go back. His grandfather, Friedrich Trump, he came over from Germany on a boat in 1885. Illegally, might I add. He ducked military service back home and came here looking for a bag. Runs in the family. And he made that bag by running hotels, brothels, restaurants, all during the Yukon Gold Rush. So let that sink in. The same family screaming about illegals and traditional values built their fortune off of bootlegging and sex work. So we fast forward to Donald's daddy, Fred, the Trump who got arrested at a Klan rally in 1927. The Trump who built an empire on housing, but only if you were white. In the 1970s, Fred and Donald were sued by the Department of Justice for discrimination. They violated the Fair Housing Act. They marked Black applicants with a C for colored. And when asked, Donald said they weren't discriminating. They were just being careful about who they rented to. Careful. That's how he framed racism. They settled out of court, no admission of guilt. But the damage was already done. Because what Trump learned from that was simple. If you say it with a smile and a suit, they'll call it business instead of bigotry. And Donald, he didn't break the mold, he polished it. So let's talk about what Trump knew about politics before he ran for president the first time. He knew absolutely nothing. This is a man who once said, and I quote, "Nobody knew healthcare could be so complicated." Bruh, everyone knew, except you. And he gets military advice from watching the shows, whatever that means. He claimed windmills cause cancer, said injecting bleach might help with COVID, said we should take the guns first and go through due process second. That's not policy, that's delusion with a microphone. And yet, people followed him. Not because he was informed, but because he made it okay to hate out loud again. So let's run the receipts, because you know I got them. In 1989, he took out full-page ads calling for the death penalty for the Central Park Five. In case you don't know, those were the 5 Black and Latino teens that were accused of a crime that they never committed. He even doubled down after they were exonerated, because it was never about justice, it was always about punishment. In 2011, he launched the birther conspiracy against Obama, said he needed to see the president's birth certificate, because a Black man in power, oh wait, that's too much. He had to question his legitimacy, had to remind America who was real and who wasn't. He called Mexicans rapists and criminals. He told 4 U.S. congresswomen of color to go back where they came from. He called majority Black nations shithole countries. And during a 2020 debate, when asked to denounce white supremacy, he told the Proud Boys to stand back and stand by. They put it on their merch, and he said nothing. This isn't accidental. This isn't a gaffe. This is a man who knew exactly how to play to America's darkest instincts, because he was raised on them. Trump's racism isn't new. It's not performative. It's ancestral. It's rehearsed. It's profitable. And every time somebody says, that's just how he talks, just remember, so did his daddy. So did his grandfather. And now he's teaching that very same language to a new generation. This was never about making America great. It's about making it go back to a time when only a certain kind of person got to be American.
Mark Carney, Canada's new Prime Minister, was meeting with Donald Trump in the Oval Office today. And like classic Don, he starts talking about annexing Canada, making it the 51st state, everything else. In fact, he went on a tirade right before Mark Carney arrived on Truth Social, talking about the $200 billion deficit, everything else. Let me show you. So you can see here, he goes through his whole thing, saying about how Canada needs the United States more than the United States needs Canada, and that he's going to make sure he talks to Mark Carney about this. Well, Mark Carney essentially told Trump, shut up about it. It's never going to happen. And he put it in terms that his tiny little demented mind can understand, saying, there's some places, as you know, in real estate that are not for sale, that will never be for sale, and Canada isn't. So let's work to build a partnership like we have in the past that strengthens both of us. Now, throughout Mark Carney talking, Donald Trump continued to make quips about annexing Canada, about making Canada a 51st state, what have you. But Mark Carney was having none of it and continued to shut Donald Trump down. Once again, embarrassing Donald Trump in his own Oval Office before the International Press Corps.